What's up, everyone? Toshi here. Very first thing I want to mention is I actually played through Honkai Star Rail beta because I wanted to form a more articulate version of a video we did a while ago. Is Honkai Star Rail the game for you? Now, as you all can see in the top right, my level is level 35, and I have a picture of a trash can because my account is absolutely dog shit. It's a trash can. But I will also mention that it is very relatable, and this will probably be an account that most of you will have whenever you play Honkai Star Rail. The very first topic I want to cover is the story. So the story so far is actually pretty good. As you can all see, I am actually in the last area, so the last region we can go to in the CBT3, the Zengsho Loufu. My head was blocking. The Zengshu Loufu. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. I'm not good with Chinese. But I will also say that this is based off the Leeway region. If you take a look here, you can pretty much see that it is based off of, a area in China. I don't know where exactly. Maybe it's not China. Maybe it's a Asia area. I don't know. I'm not trying to be racist. But going forward here, the story is pretty good. The stakes aren't very high. Now, I would try my best not to spoil anything, but most of the time you will see that a lot of characters, there's never really a time where, oh, this character is going to... You know what I mean? Like, you play Genshin, you know a lot of characters in that game don't... I mean, Signor is like the only character that died, right? So far. This game is kind of the same. So you're going to see a lot of that happening. And if you're a fan of that, where the stakes aren't very high in the story, the bad guys lose and the good guys win, then you probably will like the narrative that Honkai Star Rail brings to the table. I'm not saying that the story is bad, but I'm saying it's very basic in the way it tells stories. But I think that's a gacha game problem, because maybe they want to sell you, Hoyo wants to sell you the characters in the game. And if the character is, dead, then they can't sell you the character. That's probably why. But it seems like it was made for a younger demographic, the way the story is presented and some of the characters are. They tried to make the characters as relatable as possible, which I don't think is a bad thing. Maybe it is a great thing, Maybe it's a great thing how maybe some of us can relate to March 7th, or maybe some of us have a gambling addiction like Chingku, however you say her name. That's maybe a good thing. But I think for a lot of people, you might be turned off by that little fact. There's a lot of unskippable cutscenes. Now, the cutscenes are pretty good from the way they're presented, but if you are not a fan of cutscenes with long periods of dialogue, maybe you just want to play the game and you don't like the story is an afterthought for you, but you're more so a gameplay-oriented player. You're going to be very turned off because you can't really skip the cutscenes. The cutscenes are pretty long. If you played Genshin, you have to sit through the cutscenes, especially if you played during the summer event. I don't remember what it's called, the Golden Apple Archipelago. You know exactly what I'm trying to say. All right, let's go over the gacha. Now, we made tons of gacha videos before, going over the gacha in Honkai Star Rail, but we'll do a very quick brush up, and I will give my impressions as well. Very first thing, there is the 3 4-star characters, and there is the 5-star character in Limit Banner. There is the light cone banner. You can get 4-star light cones as well, and other 5-star light cones on this banner that are off rate. And then there is the Stellar Warp and the beginner banner, which I already used, so that's gone. So there's pretty much 3 banners at a given time, maybe 4 or 5. If there's 2 5-star characters in rotation, you will have the 2 limited 5 stars, and you will have the 2 limited light cone banners. The rates are really low. You're not going to really be getting many characters aside from the 4-star pity and the 5-star pity. The 4-star pity is 10, right? You can see here 10 summons to the banner, you get a 4-star guaranteed. I very, very, very rarely got a 4-star off of the 10 pity. I also very rarely, it happened once, so I guess the chances is there. I got a 5-star early, but the chances of that happening are very, very slim. You probably will never get a 5-star early. You probably will never get a 4-star early either. If you do, consider yourself lucky, because it's very nice. The currency you get in the game is very low. Now, I did say this in previous videos, but as you can see here, I've gotten inflated pool counts. So you can see here, I have 10 of these Star Rail passes. I also have Stellar Jades from just literally existing in the beta. Now, we won't be getting these rewards on launch as far as I know, and I know it's very sad. I really did wish we can get more rewards during launch. You will be getting 20 Star Rail passes, and you will also be getting the serval 4-star character. That's pretty much it. Now, as far as I said before, there is no indication of us getting more rewards when the game does release. However, if the release is massive, explosive, just like Genshin Impact's launch, then you could probably expect to see more rewards on your account. So the time it would take for me to pity a 5-star limited character, and let's just say I lose my 50-50 hypothetically, is going to be 3 to 4 months to actually get the character or any character on the limited banner saying I lose the 50-50. So if you played Genshin, right, and you are a free-to-play player in that game, you know how long it takes for you to get a 5-star character guaranteed. And most people will be summoning on banners when they have a guarantee, unless you're like me and you have a gambling addiction. But don't be like that, because the last thing you want is to end up like me and have a 5-star character you don't want. I mean, Himiko is great, but you'll have a 5-star character you don't want, and you will have a guarantee that you won't be able to use on that 5-star character that's on the banner, because their banner will go away before you even have a chance to hit pity again. And most of the time you will have 80 subs into the banner before you see the, bright yellow light, which is a 5-star indication. So the cool thing about the actual gacha is that, and I mean, you could also argue this isn't a cool thing, there's only RGB characters, so red, blue, green, no moonlight, no like light and dark characters. So you can see here we have fire, which is Himiko, we have ice, which is Herta, we have lightning, which is Ting Yun, and so on and so forth. There is the imaginary quantum. But I mean, you could argue, all right, the quantum isn't like dark, and then the imaginary isn't light. It just happens to be light and dark, but there isn't no lower rarity attached to the actual, element. So you don't have to worry about, struggling to get the character on the banner because they have lower rates being light and dark. That's just not how it works. The very first form of repeatable content is Forgotten Hall, and as you can see here, there is the later stages. These stages do reset. I believe it is 12 to 15 that resets. Right now I'm stuck on stage 10. It'll take me a while to complete it, but once I complete it, I will be able to progress further. And the stages that reset are these 4, as you can see. You have to complete these stages in 3 stars to get the rewards. If you do not 3-star the stage, you can't get the rewards. It is in total. So let's just say you hypothetically only get 6 stars across these 4 floors, then you only get 400 primal gems, stellar jades. You don't get 600. If you only get 3 stars across these first 3 stages, then you only also get 200. So it's stars in total, but if you clear all of these stages, that's 200, 400, 600, 800 stellar jades or stars or the primo gems you could get. So next up we have the simulate universe. This is where you'll go to farm artifacts. You'll also go here to do the simulate universe and get the rewards associated with doing this weekly repeatable content. There is the rewards set here. I believe these do actually scale with your AR or equilibrium level, they call it. So think of this as in Genshin Impact, your world level, it's equilibrium in this game. So equilibrium level, it will scale. You'll get better rewards associated with that level. I'm only equilibrium level 3, so these are my rewards right now. But if I was higher, then the rewards definitely be better. However, you still only get 1 Star Pass per week from doing the simulated universe. I think 1 pass a week is actually pretty decent. As of right now, you can't get a summon per week in Genshin. I mean, you could also argue, okay, Toshi, 1 summon per week is still pretty bad. But think of it like this, right? 1 summon per week, 56 weeks in a year. I mean, you get 56 summons in a year. So you'll hit pity at least once per year, right? And as of right now, there is no form of PvP, but there was a game mode we actually did have in the form of an event, and it was a co-op game mode. And what you did was you had a world boss kind of simulation game mode where you would go around and fight different mobs, and everyone participated in fighting those mobs. And then once the mob died, you got additional rewards after clearing it. And that's pretty much it. That was the only form of co-op we had in the game. We don't have any other form of co-ops. So you played Genshin, right? You can play with your friends, and then you can play with randos online, which I thought was pretty cool. But in this game, there isn't any of that. There isn't any way to play with your favorite streamers, your favorite YouTubers, or even your best friend. You have to play solo. There is a friend system in this game that takes the place of a co-op system, but all you do is use your friend as a support when you do your artifact runs. So it's not your friend playing, but it's more so you controlling your friend's character, if that makes sense. So yeah, it can feel pretty lonely at times. And there is no PvP and there will never be PvP. So don't even think about it. Do I want PvP? I mean, yeah, I'll take it, but I'm not going to cry it's not in here, you know? It is what it is. Okay, let's go over the gearing. So I only have 4-star gear on my account because I haven't, you know, gone higher level to get the 5-star gear. You can start unlocking it early. Like in Genshin, you get like a couple 5-star pieces from doing your not world boss, but your weekly boss farms or whatever. It's the same thing in this game. You get the artifacts from doing that as well early too, but I didn't get lucky. But I do have 4-star pieces of gear, and for the most part, gearing in this game is pretty awful. There is the speed stat, which if you played other turn-based games, the speed stat is actually just cruel. This is going to be probably one of the most sought after stats because you want to be able to have a higher speed character like Bronya, for instance, to be able to go first, right? To give another character another turn. So you want a speed stat or have a lot of speed on her. You want to have a lot of speed on a character like Seal. So this is going to be a very sought after stat, and the fact that, you know, it's going to be hard to obtain in the gear itself is going to be really rough. There is a base main stat, you know, piece of gear for speed, which is great, but I mean every turn-based game has that. Yeah, the gearing in this game is very, very bad. You do have 6 slots per character. So if you go here and take a look at who is equipping it? My Asta, I believe. Oh, she wasn't equipping it, but she was before. You have 6 pieces of gear you can put on any given character, and the 2 pieces here are accessory pieces, pretty much like, you know, Epic 7, right? Although you can't get crit rate or crit damage on these pieces as far as I know, but you can get damage boost, which is pretty nice. But this has a lower chance to drop, so keep that in mind. Lower chance to get good substats, so you're going to be chasing the main stat damage boost most of the time. But your chances of getting good stats on your damage boost is very, very, very low. Now, if we take a look here at the battle pass in this game, at level 40, you get something called the self-modeling resin. This is going to be what you use to craft your own piece of gear. I will have a picture on the screen, and the picture will show the main stats you can get for that piece of gear. The only main stats you can get. You can't get damage bonus, you know, main stat, which is probably what most of us want. You can't get crit rate, crit damage main stat. You can get speed main stat, which I think is probably going to be the one most, if not everyone, goes for most of the time. The most valuable thing. And I think that's very disappointing, not being able to actually legitimately craft your own piece of gear, you know, with no strings attached is what I was hoping for. But we're only limited to, you know, 5 main stats, not damage bonus, which is going to be a hassle to get. You know how hard it was to get that in Genshin Impact. 6 minutes for 1 energy. It takes 18 hours for 180 energy. So from 0 to max restoration for your energy source, it is 18 hours. You know, 60 is 6 hours. Whenever you use this little bottle here, your fragile resin, pretty much, you will get 60 Trailblaze power. You can see here, which is the 60 resin for your account. You use that to farm pretty much anything you want in the game that needs resin to get the rewards associated with it. And you can get those little bottles, or they call it fuel. Fragile resin. You can get this in the battle pass. You also get this in AR level rewards, and you get this in the Simula universe after completing, you know, to a certain point each week. But it comes in the form of a condensed, but it's kind of the same thing. Now, much like Genshin, the amount of time it will take you to do your dailies or your daily grind each day, I can go over really quickly. So what you do in any given day, this makes it very friendly for a lot of people with busy lives. The very first thing you would do is log in, and then you would do your dailies, right? Do your dailies for your Stellar Jade. That'd probably take around 5 minutes. And then you would do your resin, spin your resin. That probably takes another 5 minutes, depending on what you're doing in the day. Maybe 10 minutes if you have a kind of weaker team, maybe your mid game. And you also do have the Simula universe. We can do that weekly, but I do that usually one day during the week, usually on Sundays, the last day of the week, because I'm lazy and I procrastinate a lot. You also have the events, but you can probably, you know, like in Genshin, you just wait for the one day where the event, you can do it all in one sitting, and you don't have to worry about doing it another time. or doing one each day. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about being time gated. It is time gated, but you know what I mean? You do it when it's all ready to be completed in one sitting. And that whole process, excluding the events and the simulate universe, let's say you already do those and you just want to know how much time it takes for you to do the process each day, about 10 to 15 minutes. That's going to be the daily grind, pretty much. So much like Genshin, but I would argue that it is quicker than Genshin. Can I even say that? I really feel like it's the same amount of time. I don't think it's any different. But let's go and do the video. I hope you all got something out of this. If you have any questions, of course, let me know. As you all know, I've had time to play through the CBT. And first impressions, I gotta say, I like this game a lot. I can't wait to be able to use Herta, use, Bronya. I can't wait to use Ting Yun in the same team with a seal combo. And it's just gonna be, chef's kiss. It's gonna be a good time. And yeah, let me all know if you have any questions. I'll answer any and all. Thank you for watching and have a nice rest of your day.